Sri Vidya Temple Society of Rochester, New York has embarked on an ambitious program to build a Dravidian style temple which will be the permanent home for the mother. The reason for trying to build this new edifice is that the younger generation growing up in the West would understand what kind of architecture and structure was involved in the olden day temples. When we build this temple, it will follow some of the principles laid down in the Agama Shastras. We have engaged a veteran Sthapati or temple architect who has built well over 110 temples outside of India. We hope that everyone will like to become part of this temple, and if they are so interested, they could contact us by calling area code 585-533-1970 or srividya.org. It's our prayer and hope that every one of you who hears this message will participate in making this temple construction a reality. Thank you very much.
Shri Matre Namaha. Namaskaram everyone, and welcome to our Sacred Rites and Rituals of Sanātana Dharma learning series, which is a joint presentation by the Sri Vidya Temple of Rochester, New York, USA, and Ashtanga Yoga Mandir of Sri Lanka. A few housekeeping reminders. We kindly ask everyone to keep all microphones and cameras turned off throughout the entire session. Please use the question form to share any of your questions you might have pertaining to the content discussed. For those of you that are viewing on our live stream, our question form can also be found on our webpage, which is srividya.org/AOIM-lectures. In the last session, Aya discussed the different ingredients that are used to make jaladravya. We also had the wonderful opportunity of seeing a live demonstration of Panchopachara Puja being performed, where the Pujari integrated Panchapuranam prior to each Upachara being offered. As Aya mentioned, Upachara Pujas can use a variety of slokas, suktas, stotras, or even bhajans, and are not restricted to one specific approach. In our learning series, we will be using some materials that tend to be in Tamil. But however, please keep in mind that these Upachara Pujas can be applied to any sloka using the knowledge of this basic framework of the different Upachara Puja that Aya has shown us. For those who are interested in viewing a demonstration video of Panchopachara Puja, please visit our webpage, With that being said, we will hand it over to Aya to begin today's session.
Namaskaram. Om Gajananam Bhudaganadisevitam Kabittajambopalasaarapakshitam Umasudham Soga Vinachakaranam Namami Vigneshwara Padapangajam Sri Mahaganadipataye Namaha Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. My pranams to my esteemed Guru, Mahamandaleshwara Srila Sri Amritanandananda Saraswati, in the company of his Shakti Srimati Annapurnambika. I pray that he sits on my heart lotus and speaks through me. The Panchopachara Puja that we saw last time is a beginning step. It is step one, upper kindergarten. We have to establish a routine, a discipline that we must follow and continue to improve upon every day if we want to reach the endless, limitless being that is always within and without us. Now, pujas can be of many types. What you saw the last weekend, the puja being done, it is called Saiva Tirumurai Puja, which means the hymns taken from the pantheon of Saivite saints has been used in the puja. Tevaram was used for flowers, Tiruvachakam for dupam, Tiruvisekpa for deepam, then Tirupallandu for Naivedyam, and Tirupuranam for Kamfa, Karpurani Rajanam. This is a short version of the puja that was demonstrated only because we want the people to start somewhere. I know in Sri Lanka especially, where the Ashtanga Yoga Mandir is, we have people who have got used to visiting a temple, watching the puja done, maybe with or without concentration, mechanically walking around the temple, prostrating ourselves in front of the Dvajastambam, taking the prasadam and going home. So it has been an impersonal worship where the mystery of the temple and the environment and the rituals have always been alien to the general population. I was struck very deeply when my mother, as a 6-year-old, she took me to the temple, and I remember asking her, why is the priest chanting in a language that I cannot understand? You mean to tell me the all-powerful Subramanya Swami, which was the temple she took me to, cannot understand my language? I found this very difficult even as a 6-year-old to understand. When she came home, she told me, this is the way they have been doing it for hundreds and thousands of years. If you must understand it, you must learn it. You must find somebody who will teach it to you and learn it. And that little spark that she lit remained alive for quite some time. Pancha Upachara Puja that was done last week is Saiva Tirumurai Puja. Now, you can have Panjanga Raudri Karana Puja. Panjanga Raudri Karanam. The word Raudram comes from the word Rudram. In the Vedas, in the Yajurvedam, in the 5th Adhyayam, Rudram is part of it. And in the heart, smack in the center of the Rudram is the Maha Mantram Om Namah Shivaya. Now there are various ways of performing puja. There is a selection known as Mahanyasam. Nyasam means placing certain deities on different parts of the body. Now, this Mahanyasam, there are two styles in vogue. One is called Bodhayana Padantaram. The Rishi Bodhayana chanted Maharudra, the Mahanyasam. The other one is called Ravanan, Ravanoktam, the way Ravana chanted Mahanyasam. Both are extremely powerful. We have extracted from the Bodhayana Padantaram a selection that is popularly known as Panchanga Raudri Karanam. Pancha, 5, Angam, parts of the body. So you can use that. People who are familiar with Sanskrit, next week we will demonstrate Pancha Upachara Puja with Shodasanga, with Panchanga Raudri Karanam. So we have already seen 2, Tirumurai, Panchanga Puja, or Pancha Upachara Puja, or Panchanga Raudri Karana Pancha Puja, second one. Third, I know in the last 40, 50, 60 years, in Sri Lanka, in parts of Singapore, Malaysia, everywhere where South Indians or North Indians or Indians are living, the phenomenon of Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba has spread like wildfire. The 4 corners of the earth, there are people, if you ask them, they will know who he is. And the way to worship him was through bhajans. So Bhajanandaram Pancha Upachara Puja is there. Sing 5 bhajans. So 3 of them already we have seen. Now, Pancha Upachara Puja is grade 1, I told you. It's primary school. After you get familiar with the Pancha Upachara Puja, you must strive to establish a routine in your life that will take you to a permanent way of worshipping. The Shodasa Upachara Puja, which is Shodasa means 16, the 16 Upachara Puja. Upacharam is service to the Lord. It can be done in many, many ways. You can do Bhajanandaram. There are also 16 bhajans and 16 different upacharams. When I was small, if somebody would have told me, sing 16 bhajans and do the Shodasa Upachara Puja, I would have been very happy because I love bhajans. And bhajans are not just so that you sing something that you have memorized and go, no. Bhajan singing, you have to melt, you have to dissolve in the song. If you dissolve in the song, you will not feel that anybody is around you. You will be alone. So the Kaivalya Padam, a glimpse of it will be shown to you, because you will forget yourself if you dissolve yourself in the song. But it has to be properly sung. Even when Swami was there, if somebody sang off key or somebody sang without talam, he will close his eyes, close his ears. I have seen this. Anyway, so Bhajanandaram, 16 Upacharams. Then there is something called Sri Sukta Vidhanam. Vidhanam means method. Sri Sukta Vidhanam. In the Rig Vedam, in the 10th Padalam, there is a series of 16 or 32 slokas that are addressing the divine mother of the universe. So you can chant the verses, and for each verse you can offer an upacharam as service. Then this is called Sri Sukta Vidhanam. The first 16 stanzas of the Sri Suktam you can chant and perform puja. Now this is something that you can do throughout your life. If you don't have the mind, or you don't have the ability, or you don't have the opportunity to chant and learn other pujas, this itself is enough. Now, in the Saiva Tirumurai, what I have done is the Shiva Puranam, sung by Manikavachakar, has different sections in it. Andapavudi, Tiruvandapavudi, like that, many of them are there. I have divided the Shiva Puranam into 16 sections, and you can chant it. Now, what is special about the Shiva Puranam? If you know the 95 lines, you would have had, by chanting it once, you would get the benefit of having performed the puja in all the sannidhis, in all the shrines in a Shiva temple. So you chant it 5 times a day, you have done Shiva puja 5 times a day in a Shivalayam. What more do you want? This has not been taught to us when we were young. So we have to innovate. This is also Tirumurai Puja, except this is Tiruvachaka Vidhanam, Tiruvachakam. Now, from the Yajurvedam, from the Taittiriya Samhitam, there is a selection known as Purusha Suktam. Sahasra Sirisha Purusha Sahasrakshat Sahasrabhat. It will start like that and it will go on. This is called Purusha Sukta Vidhanam. What is the difference? Purusha Suktam visualizes the Virat Purushan, the cosmic being, as a male. Sri Suktam visualizes the Virat Purushan as a female. For us, there is no difficulty because Shiva and Shakti are 2 sides of the same coin. So whether you worship Shiva as a feminine aspect or a masculine aspect, doesn't matter. So that is called Purusha Sukta Vidhanam. Then there is also ample scope in the Vaishnavite side of things, Nalayirathu Divya Prabandham. These are songs sung by Vaishnavite saints, replete with absolute devotion. If your heart doesn't melt when you listen to those songs, you are like a stone. Nalayirathu Divya Prabandha Vidhanam. So you select from there, from Alvar Tirumali, from Andal, and sing and perform the puja, 16 upacharams. The ultimate aim is you have to perform the 16 services to the Lord. Similarly, in Rudram, Rudra Sukta Vidhanam, taken the first Anuvaham of the Rudram is taken, and there are 16 stanzas there. You can do Upachara Puja with that. Now, I want to spend a little bit of time explaining to you what this whole body is, because Kayame Koyil Kadimanam Lingam, this body with its 9 openings, Navarandra Deham Sri Chakram. The body with its 9 openings is the Sri Chakram. Kayame Koyil. This entire body is the highest temple for Shiva. Isanarku Vaigopura Vasal Kadimanam Lingam. The Atma Swarupam inside is the Shiva Lingam. Now, I want you to understand what you are doing, what you will be doing, whichever Vidhanam you choose, whether it is Nalayirathu Divya Prabandham, Rudra Sukta Vidhanam, Purusha Sukta Vidhanam, Shodasangara Udrikaranam Vidhanam, Bhajanandara Vidhanam, Bhajana Vidhanam, all of these, any one of them that you choose, what happens to you? The body has 6 chakras that are connected to the body, that are associated with this body. Now, you will see number 1 is labeled Kula Sahasraram. There is 1,000-petal lotus beneath your feet. Just imagine that. You are standing on a lotus. And that lotus has 2 sides. This is a peculiar lotus because there is a stem, and both sides of the lotus you can see the petals. In one direction it is downturned, in the other direction it is upturned. So Kula Sahasraram. You look at the diagram, you will understand. Number 2 is Mooladharam. Moola Adharam, beginning. Adharam, the base. So that is number 2, Mooladharam. That is the one that is present in the coccygeal plexus of the human body. The third one is Swadhishtanam, Swa-adhishtanam, that which exists on its own. That is the solar plexus. Sacral plexus, where the fused bones of the backbone are. The bones are fused so that they are there to protect the kidneys. The sacral plexus. Number 4 is Manipura Chakram, which is the solar plexus. Anahatam, number 5, cardiac plexus. You see that is in the region of the heart. 6th is Visuddhi Chakram. Visuddhi Chakram. Number 7 is Ajna Chakram, smack between the eyebrows. It's located in the place where I have placed the kumkumam on my forehead. Now, above this second chakram, the Ajna chakram, number 7, there exists a series of 9 chakras, exactly one, the width of each finger, beginning from the Ajna at the distance of a breadth of a finger, you will see others. The first one is called Bindu. You can see there are little bits of information given, notes given there. At one point or the other, I hope these diagrams and these things are going to be put on the net so that they can download. Okay, very good. Number 2 is Ardha Chandra. Ardha Chandra. Ardha means half. Ardha Chandra. Third one is Rodini. I must tell you, when I wrote the Sri Chakra Puja Vidhanam, Sri Vidya Sri Chakra Puja Vidhi in 1984, I found this note somewhere and I forgot to keep the notes with me. So I had no idea from where this came, and I have not acknowledged that person who first published this. My apologies to him, and we thank the person who has done this. I don't understand the symbols that are there. So number 3 is Rodini. Number 4 is Nada, sound. Number 5, Nadanda, end of sound. Number 6 is Kala. Number 7 is Vyapika. Vyapika means to spread. 8 is Nirvana. 9 is Unmani. We discussed this some time ago. Unmana, where the mind, beyond the mind, and the mind is absolutely stable. Then 0 is Mahabindu, absolute void. Now, you will see up to Unmani, there are 9 locations. And 6 chakras are there, 9 and 6 is 15. And with the Kulasahasrara, it becomes 16. So when you perform Shodasa Upachara Puja, beginning with 1 and going all the way to Unmani, you are energizing your entire body. Legs, Dvak Asrun Mamsa Medo Astihi, Dvak skin, Asrun blood, liquid tissue, Mamsa musculature, Medo bone marrow, Asti bones. All of them you will be activating. So every day, if you perform Shodasa Upachara Puja as a practice, as a Nitya Utsavam, Nitya Karmanushtanam. Nitya Utsavam is daily ritual, daily festival. Nitya Karmanushtanam, as a duty, if you perform all 16 upacharas for a day, your body will be purified from the base all the way up to the top of your head. What more do you want? Then, once you get the taste of this, you will want to learn a little bit more. When that time comes, we can teach you. I shouldn't say we can teach you. That sounds like an arrogant statement. The saints have left plans for how this thing can be achieved. There are many different ways. Now, there is another mapping that in the temple in the Sri Rajarajeswari Peetham, every Navaratri, we establish what is known as a Sri Vidya Kalasa Sthapanam. The Devi is invoked. You see the Devi standing there. The Devi standing there has 3 kalasams inside her. On the left, you will see the base has soil. And Navadanyam, the 9 grains that are associated with the 9 planets, are placed there on the first day, and this is called Palika Pujanam, Palikai. The first vessel contains water, and the first vessel is made of earth. That was made on order for the temple, and it contains 1 ounce of gold, 1 ounce of silver, 1 ounce of copper. Pure copper was taken and mixed into the clay and then made. The second kalasam contains akshatas. Akshatas, you learned when we studied about the puja plate, the tray for the puja patrams, one of them contained rice infused with turmeric and a drop or 2 of ghee. The third one contains honey. Now, in Sri Vidya pujas, almost all our pujas are arranged in the following manner. Agni Mandalam. Second one is Surya Mandalam. And the third one is Soma Mandalam. Now you see, the water is Agni Mandalam. And Akshatas, Surya Mandalam. And the honey is Soma Mandalam. Now, you will also see above the pot containing the honey, there are little oval shapes that you see. They are actually globes that you can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, this represents the Purna Gayatri. Bhuhu. Take the three kalasams together. The one with the soil and navadanyams is Bhulokam, Bhuhu. And the one, the other 6 are Bhuvaha, Suvaha, Mahaha, Janaha, Tapaha. Right? All of these are explained. Now you will also see the body is, there's a mapping here with the Mooladharam as number 1. And Swadhisthānam number 2, Manipura 3, right? Bhuloka corresponds to the Mooladharam. You see, Bhuvarloka corresponds to the Swadhisthānam. Suvarloka, Manipura Chakram. Makarloka, Anahadam. Visuddhi, Jnanaloka. Ajna, Tapaloka. Sahasra, Satyaloka. So the Purna Gayatri is also mapped into these kalasams. And just for your interest, the darkness that is within us is described as Narakalokam. If you can go back to that previous slide. You see, Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahadala, Rasatala, Padala. Those are the darkness that we are experiencing most of the time when we are only engaged in material things, things that will perish. Once you emerge from there, emergence from the unconscious state, now we are going to enter the conscious state by learning how to do the puja, how to map ourselves, how to purify ourselves from the base upwards to the top of the head. Now, please go back to the slide of the planes of existence with all the symbols. When you go back to the slide with all the symbols seen, you see where it says Mahabindu is at the top of the head, where the three cranial plates have come to fuse. And there are three plates there, and the point of the junction between the three plates, it's called Brahmarandram. The opening. Now, above that, 12 inches above that plate, the fuse plate, there is a downturned lotus. And the lotus continues all the way in the same manner. That lotus belongs to your Guru's feet. So, as you meditate and as you come up, what you will see is not his feet. You will see the bottom of his feet as you are coming up. And that stem of that lotus goes all the way to Dakshinamurti. And like we described last time too, you break the stem of the lotus and pull it apart, you will find hundreds of very tiny strands, microscopic strands that are there. You can collect those and make wicks out of them. You can buy them. In India, you go in stores, you can buy them. But each of those strands represents a Guru Mandalam of some other Bhakta. From Akula Sahasraram, you see the stem going up. So each day, Amritam, nectar is dripping from there onto the top of your head. If that dripping of nectar is not there, you will lose your life. Every day, because they are compassionate, they give this to you all the time. Now, the Shodasa Upachara Puja. The Shodasa Upachara Puja involves, first of all, what Sashu did last week when she demonstrated the Panchapachara Puja. That also is divided into two. First one is called Purvanga Puja. Purvanga means beginning. And we have decided in the temple that for those people, I notice that everybody who comes from India, whether they are from Tamil Nadu, whether they are from Andhra, Karnataka, from Kanyakumari all the way to Nepal, Sanskrit is taught in the schools. Either Sanskrit or Hindi, they have to learn it. So the Devanagari script is no stranger to them. And they can understand, they can read it. Maybe they won't understand the words, the meanings, but they can read it. For those people who don't speak Tamil, unfortunately, this situation is not the situation in Sri Lanka. From the time my great-grandfather studied up to today, Sanskrit is a luxury. And it is only taught in the 2 or 3 Veda Padashalas that are there in the Shivalayams. And those Veda Padashala schools, Veda Padashalas, are not open to all and sundry. They are only open to children, male children who are born of Brahmin parents. This is the truth. Whether you like it or not, this is the truth. unless you are wealthy enough to engage a private tutor and learn the language, which many of us don't do, and our parents don't know or did not know enough because they were not told. They did not know enough to try and get this child, every child educated in this. And they too went through the same thing. So they never studied. So they did not know the importance of letting the children learn. Like when I was a child, I had no idea. They only know Tamil and maybe English and Sinhalese maybe. For them, the Tirumura pujas we are going to do for all of them. So Shodasopachara puja for the people who do not know a word of Sanskrit will be done in Tamil. We are going to do it Sivapurana Vidhanam. Many advantages are there to this. Now, Shodasopachara puja, this Sivapuranam, Nataraja Peruman, the divine dancer, cosmic dancer, who is in Chidambaram, is the one who is going to be taught, who is going to be the focus in the Shivapurana puja. And many of us, without knowing what we are doing, the slightly wealthy ones who make pilgrimages or go to South India because some astrologer has told them, go visit this temple, they will go. If you tell them, if you go there, you will get the wealth of spirituality, they won't go. But if you tell them astrologically, you have to go to this place, they will go. And invariably, many of them end up bringing this image that you see. The form of Nataraja, maybe in the form of pictures or plastic images or Panchaloka Murtis or whatever, they will bring it and come. And they'll come and put it in their shrine room, or maybe if he's big enough, they'll put him in front in the living room, in the showcase there, so that he forms a topic of conversation. And there ends their relationship with Nataraja. But here, in the Shivapurana Vidhanam, we are going to teach you how to worship him. And by visualizing the worship that you are doing, the services that you are offering to Chidambara Nataraja, what you are doing is a meditation. So there are many benefits that are going to be coming your way by just learning and doing the Shodasopachara puja for Shivapurana. If we go back to the last week's slides, I want to see the Panchapatram, please. You remember we learnt about the oligodynamic effect. Now, apart from becoming very devoted to Shiva, you are also going to have benefits. Now you see the Panchapatram shown here is supposedly made of gold, Au. The metal ions migrate into the water and you take it. Similarly with silver, with copper and with brass. And when these ions get into your system, when you take a little bit and when you take the tirtham at the end of the puja, go into your system. Go into the next slide, please. That comes after this. Yeah, you see the migration in a larger pot. When you have a kalasam with the pot showing this. So your health also is maintained because gold, silver and copper and brass are antibacterial. You see the oligodynamic effect of metals to purify water. oligos, a few dynamis force, ability of metals, especially copper, silver, zinc, and their alloys, to destroy bacteria and viruses even in low concentrations. The concentrations are 1 in a million parts, 1 part to a million parts of this, and they destroy this. You will be able to download this in due course, so I will not be reading into these things. The Panchapatram is taken and you cover the Panchapatram with the Udrini, the spoon, lying between your ring and middle fingers. So, why the ring and middle fingers? Why can't it be between the thumb and the forefinger? The practice from ancient times is invariably the person who is doing the puja, not a small child, of course, adults, they will have a gold ring on the ring finger. And the gold, see how carefully they have calibrated this. The gold will touch the metal of the Panchapatram. And you chant. For the Sanskrit people, for the people who can read Sanskrit, this puja, this Purvanga puja, this part of the Purvanga puja is a little elaborate. But for the others, I have to take a little bit from the slokas for this, and we will chant Gange cha Yamune Saiva Godavari Saraswati Narmada Sindhu Kaveri Jale Asmin Sannidim Kuru. These, the words will be given to you. You will be able to read it. And when you perform this, that water now is consecrated. That water is magnetized. It's magnetic water. Then you take a little bit with the spoon, remembering, please, remembering to hold the spoon with your thumb, middle finger and ring finger of your left hand. Thumb, middle finger, ring finger. You hold the spoon with this, like this. This mudra, if you see, looks like a deer. There you go. It looks like a deer. It is called Murgi Mudra. In Sri Vidya, this Murgi Mudra is what is shown to the Guru who gave you the mantra Diksha. This Murgi Mudra, if you hold the spoon or the Udrini like this and do the puja with, if you take akshadas, use the same. If you take flowers, use the same mudra. Any shortcomings, any mistakes that you make in the puja will be absorbed by the lineage of gurus. They are called Avyaja Karuna Murti. That means why they are so compassionate, even they themselves, like the mother, they themselves do not know. So they give you only the positive part of the puja. And any shortcomings they will absorb. See, such a simple technique. You just hold it like this. That's enough. So you take with the left hand, thumb, middle finger, ring finger, take some water and place it on the right hand, in the palm, and the palm must be held like this. Remember, If you hold the palm like this, water will not flow out. Otherwise, it will be leaking everywhere. Once you take this, you sprinkle on all the things that are there around you in the puja room for the puja. Whatever that you have collected, puja ubagaranani, that means the implements like panchapatram, dhupakal, ganta, all of those things. You take that and sprinkle. And a little bit you sprinkle on yourself. It doesn't mean that you have to take about 10 spoons and, take a bath right there. That's not the idea. You sprinkle a little bit on that. Now you have, just in case, all the things that are around you, both the perishables and the implements that you're going to use for puja, with the flowers, the fruits, whatever, everything has now become purified. In Sanskrit, we will say, puja upakaranani dravyani atmanam cha tam prokshaya. Exactly what I said, sprinkling everything, the implements and other dravyams, other things that we have assembled, and on ourselves. We are purifying ourselves with this water. If you don't know Sanskrit, just take that water and chant Om Namah Shivaya and sprinkle it. Om Namah Shivaya is your Maha Mantra for all of you. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. There. 3 times you have heard me say it, now you have got it. So sprinkle it on all the things and purify the place. Close your eyes for a moment and visualize Swami Nataraja dancing in front of you. Just for a brief second. Then the rest of the Purvanga Puja, if you look at the video that is going to be uploaded or that has already been uploaded on our website, you will see Sashu has worshipped the bell, the lamp, and all the other things, and the Panchapatram. Now you are ready. Now you are ready to commence the puja. In the Shaivite corpus, Ganapati has to be worshipped first. Without worshipping Mahaganapati, nothing will succeed. So, you have to worship Ganapati. Now you are going to ask me, I don't have a Ganapati, how will I worship him? Very simple. If you have turmeric in your house, I'm sure you have, because for your parpu curry and your dal curry and all the other things, haldi is used. Take a small portion, make it into a malleable clay-like consistency and make a small cone. That's your Ganapati. If you have puak, that's in Sinhalese, arecanut, pak, kotte pak, take that and place it. Look at the arecanuts that are there. The Ganapati made of haldi is there. Somebody has been very creative. They have actually made Ganapati there. This arecanut, the one that is in the middle, you see, it is upended. It is placed like that. In Maharashtra, this is what they use for Ganapati. Put a bindi, chandanam, kunkumam. Chandanam, kunkumam. Even on your forehead, if you put chandanam and kunkumam, the chandanam will cool you. Exactly like that, you place that and place that arecanut in front of you. That Ganapati is now there. Now, you can perform Shodasopachara Puja if you want to Ganapati. If you do Shodasopachara Puja to Ganapati and you do Shodasopachara Puja to Swami, 32 Upacharams, it's going to take a little time, so be prepared. If you don't have the time or you are impatient, do Panchopachara Puja to Ganapati, like what Sashu did last time. And if you don't know, Thevaram, Tiruvasakam, Tiruviseppa, Tirupalland, Tirupuranam, you should know this. If you are a Saivite and you call yourself a Tamil from Sri Lanka, as devotee of Shiva from Sri Lanka, you must know this. There is no excuse. You have to learn it. If you don't know that, let us say, what will you do? Om Namah Shivaya. Or when you do Ganapati Puja, what will you say? Om Sri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Asanam Samarpayami. I offer you a seat. Om Sri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Padayohu Padyam. You don't have to say Padayohu Padyam. Padyam Samarpayami. Put a drop of water with your right hand. Take the Uddarini like this. See, again, Mrigi Mudra, you offer it. For all the solids that you need to offer, use akshatas. For all the liquids that you have to use water. This is Shodasopachara Puja that has been shown. You can do that. I would like to do Shodasopachara Puja even to Ganapati, because Mahaganapati is compassion incarnate. And he is very easily pleased. Very easily pleased. So first you do Avahanam. Avahanam, you have to show both hands like this. If you can focus on me, the people who are watching can see. Avahanam. There's another way of doing it. You take both hands facing you and then you do this over the areca nut, over the betel nut. Avahayami, avaham, avahanam. Go back to the Shodasopachara Pujas, please. You say Pujayami. Then Avahanam, that is Avahanam. Then you say Om Sri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Asanam Samarpayami. Offer some akshatas. Now that is solid. Then you say Om Sri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Padyam Samarpayami. Water. Remember the Murgi Mudra, don't forget that. Unless you get into the habit, it won't come. Om Sri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Argyam Samarpayami. Water again. Argyam is so you give him water so that he can drink. He has come a long way. Asanam is seat. Om Sri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Achamanam Samarpayami. Water to clean his mouth. Om Sri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Snanam. Pour. Say Om Sri Mahaganapataye Namaha 4 times and pour the water over the betel nut. Then you go again. Punarachamaniyam Samarpayami. Om Sri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Punarachamanam Samarpayami. What is Punarachamanam? You are at the end of the bath, you are giving him water to clean his mouth again. Gargle, whatever. Om Sri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Vastram Samarpayami. Clothing. Akshatas. Om Sri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Upavidam. Avaranam Samarpayami. Upavidam is the thread, sacred thread. Om Sri Mahaganapataye Namaha Gandham Kunkumam Samarpayami. Parimala Gandham. Gandham is sandalwood paste. Sandalwood paste and kunkumam. Then you say Om Sri Mahaganapataye Namaha Pushpam Samarpayami. If you know the 16 names of Ganapati, you can chant them. Not compulsory. Om Sri Mahaganapataye Namaha Dupam. Then again Om Sri Mahaganapataye Namaha Deepam. Now, invariably you will have incense sticks. And you will be showing the incense stick with the ringing of the bell on the left hand. You will be showing it. Now, I'll tell you small things so that you can use. This is very useful. Take a small vessel, fill it with sand, and keep it next to you. And when you finish showing the incense stick, or when you light it, don't put the incense stick like this. Put it vertical so that it stands there and all the ash falls into that vessel. It's my experience that when you do the weekly cleaning of the shrine, this ash that has fallen from the incense stick is a real nuisance. This is the easiest way to do it. Common sense. Then Om Sri Mahaganapataye Namaha Deepam. Put a dab of kunkumam. By the way, focus on me. Many of you, I have seen people, when they take the kunkumam, they take it with the forefinger. That's not allowed. Forefinger is, this mudra is called Saubhagya Dandini, and it has other connotations. Either the ring finger or the middle finger you must use to take the kunkumam and place it on the murti, and whatever remains in your hand, put it on yourself. Om Sri Mahaganapataye Namaha. So you take a little bit of this kunkumam and place it on the lamp, preferably on both sides of the wick. When you light the lamp, make sure that the wick is pointing upwards. If this is the lip of the lamp, the wick should be pointing upwards. Otherwise, when you light it, for the heat, all the oil will be drawn into the wick and to the place where it is burning and vaporizing, and it will go along the side of the lamp, and your entire lamp will be, the foot of the lamp will be full of oil. And if you don't clean it immediately, it will become green. And then Lakshmi won't sit on the lamp, somebody else will be sitting. Remember, lamp in the house is Mahalakshmi. Remember these things. These are small, small things. I was very lucky because my mother taught me most of the things that my guru taught half the things, my mother taught half the things. And you have to clean the lamp. Don't wash the lamp on Fridays. Wash it on Thursday evening. Friday is Mahalakshmi's day. It is like sending the wealth from your house. Wealth is not only money and the dollar notes or the rupee notes that are there in the safe. Happiness, contentment, friendliness, cordial atmosphere in the house, all that will be gone. Don't do that. Don't sweep the house after sunset. And chase it out. Do it while the sun is up. The old people had a very good reason for saying these things. Why? See, if there are little children running around, everybody will have earrings and things like that. Sometimes these things will come out and fall. You will sweep it and throw it out. So if the idea is that when you're sweeping it during the time the sun is up, there's enough light for you to see that. Okay, go back to the 16 services, please. Then, Naivedyam. I told you last time, buy a box of raisins and keep it. Put 2 raisins in front of him and put a drop of water, again with the same mudra, and say Mahaganapataye Namaha, Amrita Mahanaivedyam Nivedayami. Then put some akshatas and say Tambulam. Tambulartham akshadan samarpyami. In place of tambulam, I am giving you this. Then Karpura Nirajanam. Light the camphor. Don't take a gob, because your house will turn black very quickly. 1/10 of one of those tablets. 1/10. Light it and show it to him. Practice ringing the bell and showing it with your right hand, because after about 10 months, if I see any one of you and ask you, are you doing puja? And if you say yes, I will give you a bell and give you a kappa and watch you ring, because most of the time, if you don't practice, both the hands will be working at the same time. Right? All right. We'll end this thing today for now, and we will try and take some questions.
So yeah, one question we got was, I think you already covered this. What is the significance of 5 and 16 in puja, and why not any other number? What is the significance of 5 and 16 in the puja, and why not any other number?
I covered this in the beginning.
Yes, yeah.
The 5, for the 5, Sapta Sparisha Rasa Rupa Gandham, the 5 matras, the 5 tanmatras, the sense organs, for each of them, each upacharam is given. And the Shodasa 16 is what I mentioned to you, from, from beneath your feet all the way to the top of your head.
Yes, yeah. Another question, Ayya. Should we be doing our daily puja during Brahma Muhurtam, or a specific time during the day, or can it be done at any time?
Brahma Muhurtam is the best, because your mind has rested the night and it won't entertain any thoughts that are not conducive to your happiness and your contentment throughout the day. Now, you also will notice that if you listen to something that is divine in the morning, for a long time throughout the day, whatever that you are doing, that sound is going to be playing inside your mind all the time instead of this clutter. You will hear the divine names of the Lord or the Devi inside. That is why you say, do it first thing in the morning. Brahma Muhurtam is the best, if you can do that. And after you have become practiced and adept at doing the puja, and you have memorized the puja and the mantras and the litanies that are associated with it, then you can relax a little bit and do it. But that discipline must be there. Yama, niyama. The same place, same time. That's always there.
Yeah, you talked about the 3 kalas, or the mandalas of Agni, Surya, and Soma, which are represented by those kalashams during Navaratri. Why is Agni represented by water, Surya by akshata, and Soma by honey?
Because when we say Agni Mandalaya Namaha, Agni Mandalam is at the base. Right? Now, it is not that the water has anything to do with the fire. Imagine a flame rising from the pot. Can you show the pots again, please? There. Now you see the base where the green plants are. From there, the flame goes all the way up to the end of the second kalasam. That is Agni Mandalam. Then from the base of the second, it goes up to the end of the third kalasam. That is Surya Mandalam. And from the third, from the mouth of the second kalasam, goes all the way to the top of the Gayatri Mandalam. That becomes Soma Mandalam. That visualization is what I am after, not what is inside. And besides, what is inside the second kalasam is Akshatas. Akshatas, Akshatas are a representative of Mahalakshmi. So at the end of the 9 days or 10 days of puja in Navaratri, what we will do with that is it is taken and distributed to all the devotees who come so that they can take it home. And the honey is given to them also. And the kalasam with the water, half of it is poured on the Devi and the balance is given to the devotees. Because we run our temple in a little bit of a different type than what you are used to back home. Because we don't keep anything away from the devotees. Whatever that you offer to Devi is what you get.
Again, on the Navaratri Kalasham setup, why do we perform Palikai Puja? And why do married women or Sumangalis perform this puja at the temple?
Sumangali, married ladies, are the ones who bear children. That is the accepted norm that has been followed, right? Of course, these days, whether you're married or not, you can have a child and nobody is going to. But in the traditional household, the Sumangali is the one who bears children. And it is for them, those Navadanyams that they are growing is called Palikai, and it is a fertility rite that was introduced long time back. It's a fertility rite. That is why even during a marriage, Palika Puja is done. It's a fertility rite. And it has now has taken on a connotation of being part of the culture. And besides, Bhuhu, Bhulokam, where the earth is where the plants will grow. And at the end of the 9th day, that pot you will not be able to see. It will be covered completely with those plants. And those plants are taken and distributed to the devotees, or bhaji is done and the bhaji is given to the devotees. And it's quite a popular item at that time.
So on a related note, Aya, can you talk about menses, that is women's monthly periods? Can they do puja, chant, and listen to mantras during that time?
You can listen to mantras, you can chant the mantras in your mind. You can do that. You will yourself know that the hormonal activity in your body, the balance has got disturbed for about 3 or 4 days or 5 days. And the progesterone and the estrogen, that balance has to be returned. And besides, in the uterus, the epithelial layer has been expelled. So if it has been expelled, it is raw and open to infection. So at that time, you are asked to take rest. We will talk about this a little more elaborately as we go towards the thing. If I start on this now, it will take about an hour for me to complete.
Can you explain the difference between external puja and manasika or internal puja?
External puja is what makes you, the external puja is what makes your 5 sense organs focus to a point. Eka, agra chittam, one pointed mind. That will take some time and some practice before you can achieve that. Once you have completely mastered that, you can perform the same puja, visualizing it inside you. When you are performing puja, whether it is Panchavataram or Shodasavacharam or Sadhishashtivataram or Sri Chakra Puja or Nadesar Abhishekam, or any one of these things. Once you are performing it, as you are performing this thing, the puja is being done in three planes. First one, with your body, you are performing it where you are seated. The visualization associated with this thing, if you practice it with that you are showing it to Nataraja, while you are showing it to the little form here, in your mind, if you are showing it to the Nataraja in Chidambaram, that is mental puja. Now, if that mental puja and the physical puja that you are performing are properly done with the proper attitude, proper concentration, proper measure of concentration, a puja will be happening in the cosmic level, in the universal level. That is where you want to be. So, it will take a little bit of practice before you are able to visualize the puja within you. Until that, you have to do the external puja. Unless you are in a temple situation and you are performing the puja to the public. Not for yourself. When you perform puja in a temple, you are not doing it for yourself. You are doing it for the public. Then you have to do external puja. Right?
Yeah, we will stop here today.
Okay.
We have more questions, but we will pick those up next time.
Thank you. 8:45. Yes. Correct. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ayya, for sharing these teachings with us all about the various ways in which puja can be performed and important things for us to consider when performing and preparing for puja. A quick update for everybody. We will not have our sacred rites and rituals learning session next week, since Mahashivaratri will be taking place on the evening of March 11th and continue until March 12th. For this reason, we'll resume our learning sessions the week after on Friday, March 19th. Mahashivaratri, one of the most sacred nights of the year, will be celebrated this year with Sahasra Lingarchana Puja, in which 1,116 pure Spatika Lingams are arranged in a special Sahasra Lingam formation. For those interested in observing this auspicious ritual, the temple will be live streaming the entire puja. Please make sure to check the Sri Vidya Temple YouTube channel on March 11th evening to view this puja live. Again, thank you everyone for joining us for today's session. At this time, we'll hand it over to Vyasa Uncle from Ashtanga Yoga Mandir to begin our yoga session.
Greetings to all of you and my pranams to Haranaya and all the devotees and members of Ashtanga Yoga Mandir and the Sri Vidya Temple. Ayya has been explaining in detail about the beautiful aspects of various things which we have been always speaking. So Ayya explained today beautifully about the different chakras. So as all of you know, last time when we were speaking about the asanas, that is the seated positions, we spoke about the different asanas. That is, either you can sit in Sukhasana or Purna Sukhasana, you can sit in Padmasana, Purna Padmasana. So you will see that what happens is when a person gets used to sit in Padmasana, or commonly known as the lotus posture, what happens is, as Ayya was explaining, the Kula Sahastram, that is the chakras embodied in the feet, gets activated. Even in the regular pujas, it is very important that you keep the feet in the perfect position. That is one of the reasons that you will see there are a few things which is connected to that, which I would like to touch today. That is, number one, we do the Pada Pujas. So it is very important as children that you do the Pada Puja to your mother, father. If both of them are there, it is great. So on the specific nakshatras of their days, or on their wedding day, or on their birthday days. So there are also people even in Sri Lanka and in India also, that, and also in the different parts of the other world, that there are people like in every month they do a Pada Puja for their parents. And in that extended concern only, you will see still now, even in Sri Lanka, we have that habit in all our communities, especially in the Hindu and the Buddhist community. You will see when the student meet the teachers, or even when the children leave home, they always do the pranams. They fall and touch. But here what is important, when you do the Pada Puja, that when you do the Pada Puja, so where and where you will do the Pada Puja? When the Guru comes to your home, they do the Pada Puja. If you have some special functions, you do the Pada Puja. Or when you do your, for your parents, you do the Pada Puja. When you do the Pada Puja, it is mentioned that the Kula Sahastram, that is the chakras, automatically gets activated. And that water, which has some little bit of water and various other aspects, the kumkum, chanting, all these things are there. And with all these things, that is considered as the highest entity. You will see that in some tradition, that water of the which is being done, some people drink it also. You have such level of great devotions are there. Then the others, they spring on them and their family members, and then they spring on their homes. So that is one of the reasons why you will see in the yoga tradition, when a person becomes accustomed to the Padmasana, automatically what happens is there is a disconnection which happens between the energies. That is, one energy works upward and the other energy centralizes downward. So when the energy centralizes downwards, it focuses on the Kula Sahastram, that is the exact location of the feet, which I showed you last week. So for example, basically you will see that when the foot is measured in the exact middle part of it. So sometimes when you do even the activation on the feet region, you start activating, and asanas like Padmasana, that is the Purna Padmasana. And also in the Sukhasana, Purna Sukhasana, when you do that, automatically you will feel. That is one of the reasons, like sometimes when you sit for a long time, you feel a certain sensation, and if you nicely observe, it is in the middle part of the foot. But when you continuously go on, it becomes an activation. And beautifully, Ayya was explaining about the different chakras, the Bindu, the Ardha Chandra, the Rodini, Nada, Nadanta, Kala, Vyapika, Nirvana, Unmani and Mahabindu, all these chakras, Ayya explained it beautifully. So that's what you will see, that there is one concern which is said that even in the Hatha Yoga tradition, that it is very important that an individual takes a Diksha. And it has been explained very clearly in our Tamil culture that either you take the Siva Diksha or you take the Upanayana. So there are some people who comes from some community, they do the Upanayana. Same impact comes in the Siva Diksha. So why we are saying this, now we are having the Mahashivaratri which is coming across. So what happens in case if you have facilities to take the Siva Diksha, please take the Siva Diksha. Why? Because when you do the Hatha Yoga practices and everything, your chakras gets activated. But the duration of the chakras which is there in your system is limited. But once you do the Siva Diksha, I'm not touching on the Upanayana, okay? Those who takes the Siva Diksha, what happens? Not only the chakras, but all the other which was explained, the Bindu, the Artha Chandra, the Rohini, Nada, and the Kala, all these aspects gets activated. And Ayya in his slide, he explained about the different diagrams. Here what happens is basically when you do once you do the Siva Diksha, there is a certain mantra chantings are there in whatever the languages, which is very basic Bija mantras. Once you start doing that, what happens? There is an elasticity of brain which takes place within yourself. And that is the reason why Siva Diksha is very important. Sometimes you will see some people say, I have taken that Diksha, different yoga Dikshas and everything. But what is most important, Siva Diksha is the primary Diksha. From that Siva Diksha, all the other Dikshas are built up. So whoever wants to, especially there are lots of people who are following the yoga tradition. So sometimes what happens in the yoga tradition, we follow different types of initiation. But if you come from the Tamil lineage, Saiva tradition, it is very important. Primary Diksha is the Siva Diksha. You have to take the Siva Diksha, then every practice of your yoga, because tremendous yoga practices you do. And when you start doing after the Siva Diksha, when you do the pranayama, especially when we do the Brahmari, there is a specific counting. When you do the pranayama practices, there is a specific counting of holding the breath. You will see that while you start holding, it starts from the Bindu, it progresses to the Artha Chandra, Rohini, and there is a specific calculations in the pranayama, there's a specific calculations in the Brahmaric pranayamas and all those things. So it's very important, as Ayya has beautifully explained. Try your level best. Those who are in the USA, if your situation is fine, please talk to Ayya and try to get the Siva Diksha, because you can take it in a year. There are about specific days, but this Svaratri is one of the greatest days, especially those who are in Sri Lanka also. Now situations are coming a little bit better. See if you can take this Siva Diksha. At the same time, Ayya was also speaking about Avahanam. So you will see that once you do the Trataka, or once you have finished your pranayamas, but basically once you have finished, we do that whole process. We are supposed to close your eyes, and then you slowly bring your palms out, and then you look out. So you can see how these rituals and all these practices are all interconnected. It's the same practice. It's the same approach is being given. So that is one of the reasons that we request all of you to understand the principles. And Ayya has been giving us a great depth of explanation. And when you are able to combine that with your process of practices, that will give a tremendous impact. So thank you very much. The timing is up. So you will know that next time when you do the dhyana practices, when you do your meditation, you can focus on the different aspects. You can either observe in the Kula Sahasram, you can observe in the Akula Sahasram. That is all comes a little bit of high meditation, but I think when Ayya goes on explaining, he will be all explaining. But please take efforts to take the Siva Diksha. Those who want some help, you can communicate with me. Those who are in Sri Lanka and all this, I can just guide you with how you can organize it. Those who are in USA, Canada, please coordinate with the Sri Vidya Temple, and then they will help you or support you to give you or guide you how you can do all these things. Thank you very much, and my respect and pranams to Haranaya and devotees. As they told, next week we will not be having the sessions. In the following week, I'll be explaining to you. Actually, I thought of doing today one of the most important practices to strengthen the hands and all the other aspects, which we'll be doing it next week. Thank you very much.